Hello, my name is Andrew Fake from Mines and Money. Delighted to be joined today by John Gomez, who's the President and Chief Executive Officer of Inomin Mines. Delighted to have you with us today, John.
Good to be with you, Andrew.
This is the first time we've had you on Mines and Money TV. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, Inomin Mines is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange. We're involved with two advanced stage discovery projects. One is the Beaver property. It's a critical minerals property, primarily magnesium, cobalt, nickel, and chromium. We also have two gold-silver projects in Mexico.
And in terms of this, let's go and examine each of those projects one by one. First of all, with your critical minerals project, you mentioned it's obviously got four minerals that sort of like make up the sort of critical minerals project. Where are you in terms of stage of development at the moment? What are your plans for the next, say, 6 to 18 months?
Yeah, we're at the basically discovery stage. We made a very significant discovery that we announced last year. Basically, there's been 30 holes drilled on this property called Beaver, and we've hit on every hole. So
Wow.
what we want to do is go back and continue to drill the property, basically to define the extent of the discovery. So that's something we want to do in the next, say, 3 to 6 months. So that's on the flagship project Beaver. And then in Mexico, we picked up a really nice gold silver property called La Gitana. We haven't been able to do much there in the last several months, basically 18 months because of the COVID situation. However, things are improving in the region, and we hope to eventually move forward on that project as well.
Mm-hmm. So, in terms of just a couple of specific questions about the critical minerals project. I mean, obviously everyone listening in is obviously aware of the uses of nickel. They may not be aware of the uses of magnesium and chromium. Can you tell us a little bit about what their everyday uses are?
Yeah, the primary use of magnesium in terms of market is the automobile sector. It's used because it's one of the lightest structural materials available, and because it's so light yet very strong, stronger than aluminum, it's very important for automobiles in terms of reducing weight, because if you can make a lighter vehicle, you get better fuel efficiency. So that's a very important part of the market, especially with EVs being so dominant in our society nowadays. So in addition to automobiles, because of its properties of strength and lightness, it's used very common with commercial aircrafts and military aircrafts. So those are the primary markets for magnesium as a metal.
Mm-hmm. And it certainly sounds from listening to you, John, that one of the selling points about Inomin Mines is you've got an exciting critical minerals prospect, but also an exciting gold and silver prospect as well, which makes you quite unique compared to a lot of other companies out there. I also understand you've assembled a really good world-class management team. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, my background is primarily 25 years experience in the mining/business sector. I've started what I would call private companies, one in the mining sector and one in the technology sector, so to speak. I've been doing a lot of business development and marketing work in the mining sector. So again, about 25 years experience. And then my team is comprised primarily of technical people, 4 geologists in total. So it's a very strong team. It's a very broad team. We also have a corporate secretary who's a lawyer and an accountant who's our CFO.
And your investor base, can you just talk a bit about who some of your key shareholders are?
Yeah, it's primarily all retail. I'm the largest shareholder with about 2.2 million shares. That's about 7% of shares outstanding. Most of the shareholders reside in North America, and I would say maybe 20 to 25% are in Australia.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of looking to go and expand your investor your kind of like investor base. I understand you're coming to our Mines and Money Miami show, happening in about 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meetings with investors because we haven't done much marketing to get the story out on Inomin, and we're really flying under the radar screen, so to speak. We have a tiny market cap, less than 5 million, yet we have potentially 2 world-class discovery projects. So it's a great opportunity for investors who realize the opportunities both in critical minerals and also precious metals. One good thing, Andrew, about having a multi-element project is we could potentially spin out, for example, our gold silver assets down the road. So that would mean giving shareholders a share in the new company. So that's one of the benefits of having a company that's involved in many different elements beyond the diversification, of course.
Sometimes when our investors look to projects, they have questions about ESG. What would you say to them is your key ESG criteria?
Well, I think it all boils down to is whether it's good for the society, the community, including the environment. I mean, we always work on a win-win situation. It's got to be beneficial for all parties. That's very important also. It's really important wherever you work in the world nowadays. I mean, mining's changed a lot. It's gotten a lot better in terms of ESG. You need a social license to work anywhere, whether it's here in BC, where our Beaver project is, or in Mexico. It doesn't matter. So you just got to care about what you're doing, especially the people and the environment, whether it adds value. That's really the bottom line.
And one of the strong points again about both of your projects that I should have probably brought up earlier is that you're in 2 great mining jurisdictions. I mean, Mexico is obviously well known for gold and silver, and British Columbia is just an absolutely fantastic mining jurisdiction. That presumably must make exploration kind of quite straightforward for you.
Yeah, the project here in BC is just fantastic. It's in south central BC. There's great infrastructure. We're 15 kilometers from the Gibraltar mine, a very large producing copper mine. They utilize hydropower. We could potentially utilize hydropower down the road if we get this into production. So that's key. It's a great mining jurisdiction here in BC where we're operating. There's a lot of government support nowadays, of course, for critical minerals. So yeah, this is a great situation for us. We can drive, our geologists can drive to the property in about 5 hours. They're based in the Kelowna area. So it's a really good situation for the company.
And if people listening into this interview want to check out Inomin Mines more, what is your ticker?
It's Mine, M-I-N-E, on the TSX Venture Exchange, and the website for inominmines.com.
Well, that certainly has to be one of the easiest tickers to go and memorize in mining. We do wish you all the best for 2023. We look forward to seeing you at Mines and Money. That was John Gomez, who's the President and Chief Executive Officer of Inomin Mines. Thank you for your time today, John.
Thank you, Andrew.